This is Dan Wallace with the UIC Athletic Department, and today we are checking in with the head coach of the UIC cross country and track and field programs, Ashley Lucas. First off, Coach, how are you doing this morning?
We got to practice for the first time, so I don't know if I've ever been as hyped to get up at 5:30 in the morning than I was this morning.
You are in this unique position where you're the only coach on staff who not only had a shortened fall or spring season, but now has a delayed fall season. So especially talking about that 5:30 wake up, it must have felt pretty nice to finally get back out in a track and field cross country sort of environment for you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think the first month it was like, oh yeah, I get to sleep in a little bit. And then after a while, you're just like, this isn't fun anymore. Like, I just want to be at practice with the team. So it was nice the past couple of weeks have been a little bit of a tease just because they've been on campus, but we haven't officially been practicing with all the new protocols. So it's like I'd see their faces, but today to get back into the swing of a little bit more normalcy was definitely worth the wait.
You looking back on that spring season, when it came to an end, kind of what was the message? Because obviously a lot of your cross country athletes go on and compete in track and field, so a lot of the same faces you'll see this fall. What was the message to the team then as you guys left campus in terms of what their training should be like, how their mentality should be? Kind of what was your overall message and theme to the team when it was clear that the spring season was going to be no more?
Yeah, a lot of our biggest message to them was just being able to control what you can control. Obviously, we couldn't control the circumstances of a season being canceled or a pandemic happening, but we could control our attitudes. And the nice thing with cross country, with track, is you don't need a lot to be successful. You need a pair of shoes, and not saying you can't be better with more resources, but like that's really all you need in order to be successful. Like they've bought in, they know what our vision is, and they're not going to let a pandemic change the course of action.
You mentioned the newcomers, and if you take a look on your roster online, there are a fair number of underclassmen. So without going through all of your newcomers, because like you mentioned, there are a fair number of them and will be here a while otherwise, just overall, what were you looking for in this incoming recruiting class, and what are you hoping that this group of individuals, the 6 on the women's side, and I believe it's 3 on the men's side, what are you hoping that they bring to the team, whether it's this year or in the years to come?
Yeah, I mean, I think getting to know them during the recruiting process is a huge part of the whole recruiting process. And I'm just big on people that want to be a part of a team and kind of take the selfishness out of it and are bought into what the team goals are and use their individual strengths to strengthen the team. So I'd say all of the freshmen are just natural born leaders, whether that's leading by example or leading verbally. I think you kind of need both of that on a team. And they're just going to add depth to our team as well. When I first got to UIC, I was kind of like biting your fingernails if you're going to have 7 at the start line of a cross country meet, because we just didn't have that depth there. And now it's kind of like, who's going to be in our top 7, but a good who's going to be in our top 7, because they're going to be fighting to be in our top 7. Whereas when I first got here, it was kind of like, well, that's going to be our top 7. And there wasn't that internal competition between the team. And I think you need that in a team to get better, because they're each day fighting to make sure that they're on that start line come conference, come regionals, and they're earning their spot. It's just not given to them.
And this question maybe is more selfish on my behalf, but I guess people would want to know in general. I'm starting to become a runner, as you and I have talked about a little bit, and Chicago is not short of locations throughout the city to go out and explore and run. So I'm just curious, what are some of your personal favorite places around the city that you like to take the team to go and train, get a workout in, and where are some hidden gems that fans could maybe go out and get a run in one time and maybe some flames?
Yeah, well, obviously the lakefront path is the biggest one we use. I wouldn't say that one's hidden. That's pretty known. So I was very excited when it finally reopened amid the pandemic. Yep. So we're out there quite a bit. We'll go up to Montrose Harbor, which is about 7 miles north of campus. It's got one of like the only hills in Chicago, so we kind of go there to take advantage of it. And then we go to Washington Park quite a bit, which is about 10 minutes south. of campus. And there's just a crushed gravel loop there. And then we also go, we call it the windmill. You take Lakeshore and you get off at Fullerton, and there's a big blue windmill right off of the lakefront path. We've got a mile grass loop that we do there. So especially on the distance side, I think people assume being in the city, we just pound the pavement all the time, but especially for our workouts, we really try to get on soft surface.
And then I guess I'll just end with, with the pandemic and everything going on, obviously there's been a little bit more free time on your hands, I would imagine. So has there been anything that any hobbies or anything that you've picked up on over quarantine, whether it's a show or maybe you become an elite baker? What's something that you've picked up on here in the last couple months?
Well, I'm the worst binge watcher, so that I have not picked up on that. I get bored very easily, so binge watching, it just doesn't happen for me. I tried to teach myself guitar.
How'd that go?
That didn't go very well. I don't know. I think I just need somebody to teach it to me. I grew up playing instruments. I play the piano, I play the clarinet. Like, I can read music, but teaching myself, I just couldn't do. So I would say probably just cooking more. I'm just being home more. I was able to like meal prep and cook a lot more than I did before. So definitely that, cooking.
Well, perfect. Ashley, thank you so much. Best of luck training this fall, and we're looking forward to see what the Flames have in store come this spring.
Perfect. Thank you. Go Flames.